We often talk about the heroes of our past, but who are the heroes of the Jewish people today? At Jewish National Fund, we invest in modern-day heroes. Everyday people doing extraordinary things who could be found throughout Israel and right here in America. They are the greatest return of our philanthropic investment you can find.
A hero is someone who puts the needs of their country, of their community, before their own.
Heroes are all around us, making changes in lives in ways we may never know.
Heroes don't take no for an answer and don't accept the status quo.
Heroes see the good, the positive, the better people we can be, and the better world we can live in.
Heroes fight for a better future for Israel and the Jewish people.
Heroes have perseverance. They have the strength and determination to see past great obstacles.
Heroes inspire others to pay it forward and continue the tradition of Tikkun Olam.
Heroes are selfless. They are people who give and give and give.
Heroes change how we see the world. They challenge our assumptions and push humanity forward.
Heroes come in all shapes and sizes and are often seemingly ordinary people.
Simply making a difference one day at a time.
Heroes don't think in minutes or hours or even days.
Heroes see years, decades, and generations.
Heroes don't seek out gratitude or credit. They do good and often go unknown.
At Jewish National Fund, we salute the heroes of all ages and backgrounds
who make the world better, one step, one day at a time.
We are proud of their courage and of their convictions.
It is these heroes who inspire us to continue our work for the land and people of Israel.
It is these heroes who allow Jewish National Fund to be a leader in developing our homeland.
It is these heroes who are Jewish National Fund.
You're a tough act to follow, but I'll give it my best shot. My name is Lauren France, and I am the past chair of JNF Future, the community of young professionals and supporters of Jewish National Fund, ages 22 to 40, who share a commitment and passion for Israel. And I am so proud to say JNF's fastest growing group. Heroes are indeed all around us. They're in our community, they're in Israel, and many are right here in this room. One hero, who I feel personally lucky to have here today, is Marla Melamud. A community leader from right here in South Florida, Marla is a proud Jew, Zionist, wife, mother, and friend. A leader in her community, she has worked to expand educational programs for youth and adults to strengthen Jewish identity. She's been active in everything, from local hospitals and synagogues and universities, to Jewish Federation, the Weizmann Institute of Science, AIPAC, and more. She has included her family every step of the way and set the expectation that her children would also be active parts of their communities and pursue their passions. Even through personal adversity, Marla never missed a step. She never said no to an opportunity to help her community, whether it was chairing a luncheon or volunteering her time or financially supporting the causes that were close to her heart. She lives and leads by the belief that we must give back to the communities that give to us, always do good, and be true to ourselves. Marla has a special place in my heart because she is my mom and the world's greatest. My best friend, role model, hero, Marla inspires everyone around her to follow her example of giving back and doing good. Mom, where are you? The one organization my mom hasn't been involved with was Jewish National Fund. And so, in the spirit of being true to myself and following her example, I chose to be involved with JNF as my way of leaving my mark on the world. I am dedicated to JNF because of its commitment to Israel, and am continually inspired by all the heroes that I meet. From Russell Robinson to Ambassador Ronald Lauder to Saul Lieserbrand and Jeff Levine, these exemplify the modern hero to me. And right alongside them are the thousands of JNF future members who are heroes of tomorrow, volunteering every day to move the JNF vision forward. Mom, I don't know if you know this, but I dedicate my work at JNF Future to you and the wonderful example that you have set for me. What you have taught me is that you don't have to be the biggest voice in the room to be a hero. If you make just one life's person a little bit better, you've earned the title. And there is no formula either. You can do it your way just by being true to yourself. This morning's speakers are all heroes who chose to be true to themselves, all different and all inspire us and remind us that Jewish National Fund invests in heroes. Please welcome a few of Israel's everyday heroes.
Hey everyone! I get the sense, looking over the crowd, that I might just be here to bring the average age down, just a small bit. My name's Ziv Zussman, and I'm probably a light like most of your children or grandchildren, give or take a few years. I like to read and act in plays at the local JCC in Atlanta. I go to Jewish day camps there during the summer and afternoon Hebrew school during the year at my synagogue. I'm in 7th grade, which means every week I'm supposed to be practicing for my bar mitzvah. I keep telling my mom I can learn my Torah portion tomorrow. Jewish National Fund was a part of my family long before I was even around. My parents, grandparents, and great-grandmother are all involved with JNF. My great-grandmother, Laura Zussman, lives in Australia. She's been involved with JNF for over 50 years, and today, at age 91, still volunteers at the JNF office in Perth, Australia, 4 days a week. My parents and grandparents are very involved with the Jewish National Fund's work in the Galilee. My mom and grandmother have co-chaired the JNF Women for Israel annual luncheon event, and my dad is on the JNF board of Atlanta. Like many of your children and grandchildren, I see what comes home in the mail. There's the white envelopes, there's the bills, there's the political mail, that comes once a month. That comes in waves depending on whether there's an election or not. But then there's the Jewish National Fund B'Yachad magazine. My parents read the B'Yachad to stay up to date on what's going on in Israel, the Jewish world, and around JNF. One day last year, I saw the magazine and decided to flip through it. I read about water treatment and then saw a picture of my parents at a convention. Towards the end of the magazine, there were a list of societies that JNF supporters can join. Since I'm a supporter of JNF, I decided to pick a society to be part of. But as I looked through the magazine, I realized there was no society for anyone under the age of 18. So then I thought to myself, how am I supposed to be involved with JNF longer than my great-grandmother if I can't even get a head start? So I did what I thought any logical, or madly insane as you can call it, 11-year-old should do. I asked my dad for Mr. Robinson's email as he is JNF's CEO. He was excited for my idea to get more involved and gave me Russell's email. I sent him an email, and it said, "Hi, I'm Ziv Zussman. I'm Michael and Ulla's eldest child. I'm 11 years old, and I would like to start a JNF Teen and Tween Society. It would be fun for kids as well as adults to participate in JNF. I was talking with my dad and mom about it, and I said, I want to be part of JNF. We looked into it, and there were no societies for my age. Maybe even JNF members could bring their kids and grandkids to the national conference for a Teen and Tween conference. Also, I would like to take the responsibility of leading the society. Israel is the most important thing to me in the whole world. My parents have made JNF one of the best things in the whole world." A few days later, and sure enough, I got a personal response from him. He said, "Ziv, sorry for the delay in responding. The answer is yes. Please give us till after the holidays next week to get ourselves together and to reach out properly. You're the best. Thank you, Russell." The next thing I knew, things took off. I was on conference calls with Jewish National Fund staff around the country and attending JNF meetings. For the last 11 months, we've worked on creating a society for teens and tweens. It has been an amazing process, and I am happy to announce today the Jewish National Fund's newest society, the Sababa Society. What could be more Sababa, or awesome, than young people like me getting involved with JNF? We're recruiting young people in middle and high schools across the country to take part in a simple task, donating $2 a week, every week, for 1 year. We're also starting a Why You Care About Israel essay contest for young people. The best essays will receive a scholarship to the Alexander Muss High School in Israel and other prizes. We're recruiting new teens and tweens to JNF to help lead the Sababa Society in cities across the country, and I thought we could start right here at the Jewish National Fund Conference. Let's see here. Please stand up if you have any children between 10 and 14 years old. Okay. And please stand up if you have any grandchildren between 10 and 14 years old. I see tons of Sababa Society members, and we're counting on you to sign your children up today. Just give their names to one of our education department staff members. Being Jewish, for me, is part of being something bigger, a community of people that share a special bond and a love for Israel. The Sababa Society will help connect Jewish teens and tweens together across the country. My parents, grandparents, and great-grandmother have taught me that the power of tzedakah to influence the world is so incredible that we still don't understand how powerful it is. Every action we make defines who we are, and the world can become so much brighter if we all take our part in standing strong for Israel. I'm so thankful to Jewish National Fund for giving me the opportunity to be a founding member of the Sababa Society. Thank you.
And I'm a senior at Cypress Bay High School right here in South Florida. I'm so lucky that my parents have surrounded me with Judaism my entire life. We are involved with our synagogue in Florida. I attended Hebrew school. I was a member of Nifty Youth Group in middle school, and for so many summers, attended camp in North Carolina, meeting Jews like me from around the U.S. and creating lifelong friendships.
I'm Nicole Palachi, a senior at The Ohio State University. And I grew up very differently in a suburb of Cincinnati with very few Jewish families in my public school. After my bat mitzvah, I stopped having a real interest in anything Jewish. One day, I was Googling around looking for some study abroad program, and I stumbled upon Alexander Muss High School in Israel. I saw that I could spend a semester of high school in Israel, and I thought it could be a fun way to get out of suburban Cincinnati before college. Of course, I had no idea the impact it would have on me and my connection to Judaism.
At camp, we learned the word must at an early age because most kids who finish their sophomore year of high school don't go back to camp, but instead go to Israel for the Alexander Muss High School in Israel program. When I first heard about Muss, it seemed like a magical time with your best friends in Israel. I saw other campers' Instagram postings from so many amazing places in Israel, ones I had only heard or read about. When they returned home, they spoke about Israel and Israeli history with a confidence that I looked up to. I knew I had to go to Muss as well.
When I got to Israel and we dropped our bags at the dorms on the Muss campus, I had no idea what to expect. Had I made a mistake?
When I got to Israel and we dropped our bags off on the Muss High School campus, I just knew it was going to be a life-changing experience. Yes, we took classes, and I loved them. Instead of big lecture classes like at home, I had the opportunity to study Israeli and Jewish history in classes of only around 15 people. The discussions were deep and intelligent, and people weren't afraid to share their ideas like sometimes happens at school.
The classes were different first because they were so small and we were able to receive individualized attention. We were treated like college students, which really gave me an advantage at university. They were also different because we traveled around Israel, learning about the subject at the place that it happened. Some of my favorite classes were held in the Negev desert and in a cave.
One time, we woke up in the middle of the night and climbed Masada. We knew we were going to be there at dawn, but nothing can prepare you for the incredible feeling of watching the sunrise over Masada as the Judean desert lights up. The view is breathtaking. And then in this magical surrounding, our class learned about the destruction of the Second Temple and the Jews who fled to Masada. There's no more powerful place to learn about the history of Masada and the Jewish people than right where it happened.
Maybe the best part of Muss is that it helps you prepare for living on your own while connecting with Jewish youth from around the US. In my dorm, I made friends from California, Maryland, Georgia, Florida, and New York. Some people were more observant, some people less so. But what was important, no matter your religious background, or whether you came from a Jewish summer camp, a Jewish day school, or being the only Jew you knew, everyone was welcome at Muss. Everyone was mature and open to other perspectives.
One part of Muss that made a profound impact on me was our volunteering. I chose to volunteer at Save a Child's Heart, an organization that provides free life-saving heart surgery to African, Asian, Middle Eastern, Eastern European, and South American children. I spent time with children ages 2 to 18 from Ghana and Gambia who were about to get the surgery they needed to survive. I engaged them in hours of fun activities so that they would forget about their medical problems and upcoming surgery for just a day. Bringing a smile to their faces brought me so much joy, and I understood that my volunteering would not just affect their lives, but change their perception on Israel and the Jewish people forever. Once I returned home from Muss, I was committed to continuing to raise awareness and funds about the incredible tikkun olam being done by these Israeli doctors. I fundraised in support of Save a Child's Heart in my hometown. Once on a college campus, wherever I choose to go, I know that I will be 100% involved with Israel activities and will take on a leadership role in Jewish or Israel-related groups at college. I also know that when college admission staff look at my application, I will stand out above my peers for having spent a mini semester taking classes and living independently in Israel.
I came back from Muss having rediscovered my Jewish identity. So much of my Judaism growing up was appeasing my family, but now I have a stronger connection to my Jewish identity because of my own genuine interest. Judaism is much more important to me now because it's for me. At Ohio State University, I joined a predominantly Jewish sorority, and I'm now surrounded by more Jewish friends than ever in my life. I attend events for a women's chapter of the Jewish National Fund, and I've worked at the Jewish Foundation back home in Cincinnati. I went back to Israel last summer for an internship program to experience Israel as a more mature and independent person. And now, I'm a JNF campus fellow.
And we aren't the only Muss alumni to be active in Jewish life after returning from the program. This year, Alexander Muss High School in Israel celebrates 45 years of programming. Of the over 26,000 alumni of Muss programs, more than 60% participate in Jewish or Zionist organizations, compared to just 18% of the overall US Jewish population. The Pew study also showed that 80% of Muss alumni donate to Jewish charities, compared to just 56% of the US Jewish population. While I went for the summer session,
and I went for a semester,
there are sessions all year round that your children and grandchildren can participate in. From full semester programs that include Israel and general studies to 8-week mini semesters.
I know that I had a real advantage attending college, having already lived in dorms and studied away from home. It took a bit of courage and willingness to step outside my comfort zone, but it made my college experience so much better.
Looking back, I believe Alexander Muss High School in Israel gave me more strength and confidence in myself to take action and do the things that I believed in. The knowledge and experiences I had on Muss better prepare me to be an advocate for Israel on campus starting day one.
You might think that the Jewish National Fund asked me to say all this, so I brought with me here today my Muss diary. On the last day of our program, during a final reflection exercise, I wrote, "Before I forget, I want to solidify what I'm taking home from this semester. First, friends. I've never made so many connections to others so quickly like I have on this program, especially Jewish ones who seem to understand me more than anyone else. Second, independence. This program came perfectly before college. I feel so much more equipped to problem solve away from my parents and from home. Third, a love for Israel. I feel so much more connected to this country and the Jewish people than I ever have before. Fourth, religious curiosity. I have no idea where this will take me in the future, but I look forward to figuring out what Jewish means to me. Thanks to the Jewish National Fund and the Alexander Muss High School in Israel, I was able to experience Israel, expand my knowledge of Judaism, Jewish history, and personally grow as a leader in my own community. Your work is changing the Jewish world and strengthening connection to Israel of hundreds of high schoolers every year.
Thank you all for supporting students like us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ma shlemcha. You know, some people look at me and make assumptions, and so let me start with the obvious. I am not Ashkenazi. My name is Tremaine Smith, and I grew up in a small town in North Carolina. There are about 6,000 families in Salisbury, a city that's steeped in historical significance, but not without its issues like impoverished areas. As a child, I spent time, on one hand, living on my grandparents' farm, but also spent time living in the inner city housing projects. My mother, Jeanette, raised my twin brother and I as a single mom, and I know I'm a JNF hero, but my mom will always be my hero. Though it wasn't the ideal childhood that I wish to give my children, it was the childhood that built me into the person that I am today. Through the more challenging times in my life, there has always been a commitment to my faith. Being a Christian is an integral part of who I am. It's an integral part of my life. We went to church every Sunday. My brother and I even attended Sunday school summer camp, and we actually enjoyed it. But above all else, we had Bible study and prayer at home with the family. Fast forwarding to college, as a student at East Carolina University, I ran for and was elected student body president. It was then, oh yeah, you can clap. It was then, while serving as the voice for all students on campus, 28,000 students, that I first encountered Jewish students. And I remember discussing the shared Judeo-Christian values and teachings with them and a shared longing for the Holy Land of Israel. After becoming the first male in my family to graduate college, I went to Washington, D.C. to work for the U.S. Senate. After doing that for a year, I returned home to invest in my community back in North Carolina in public education. A few years after that, the call to service became stronger. And so I moved back to Washington, D.C., and now work for Congressman G.K. Butterfield, the Chief Deputy Whip of the Democratic Caucus and former chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus. While working full-time, I was a full-time graduate student at the George Washington University. It is one of the most politically active campuses in the nation. Once again, I joined the student government as one of 4 graduate student senators. I applied, was interviewed, and got accepted to JNF's Caravan for Democracy trip to Israel. Now, let me tell y'all something. If you think telling a worried Jewish mother that you're visiting Israel is bad, I want you to try telling a worried African-American mother from Salisbury that you're visiting Israel. Oy vey. The Caravan for Democracy trip is a student leadership mission that's 10 days, fully subsidized, and it's an educational program for students who are non-Jewish and have never been to Israel and who are student leaders like me. This unique Jewish National Fund trip provides students with a unique opportunity to explore Israel through political and cultural and community meetings with leaders from diverse backgrounds and faiths that impact lives in Israel and the region. My group included students who held leadership positions in colleges, in political organizations, in Greek life, and student government associations. My group, Bus 1, representing in the House. Every single person on that trip, and especially in this room, are and will continue to be transformative leaders in our community. Now, I told you I spent time dreaming of Jerusalem before I even met anyone that was Jewish or even had dreamt of a day that I would go to Israel. But thanks to Caravan for Democracy, I got to fulfill a lifelong dream. Now, there it is. Now, I'll tell you, I didn't know when we got there whether to expect like the dusty deserts in the movie The 10 Commandments with Charlton Heston, or if I was going to have to wear a Kevlar vest like you see in war zones in the news. But I can tell you this, there is absolutely nothing that could have prepared me for the incredible and transformative Jewish National Fund Caravan for Democracy experience for the people and for the land of Israel. We traveled the whole country, y'all. We went from the Negev desert down south up to the Golan Heights up north, from the beaches of Tel Aviv, which were quite a Sababa, to the breathtaking old city of Jerusalem. There, we understood the security challenges facing Israel. We heard from a variety of perspectives about the conflict, and with our own eyes, we saw the diversity in Israel's culture. Months later, and I'm still unpacking the life-changing experience. I remember the most significant experience was embracing my Jewish friend at the Western Wall for prayer. Each of us, one arm around each other, the other grasping the wall itself. A white Jewish friend praying in Hebrew next to an African-American Christian praying in English. It was absolutely transformative. And so, yes. And so after returning from Israel, students from the Jewish National Fund Caravan for Democracy are expected to continue their activism, to strive to be leaders for Israel, to strive to be voices for Israel. And I didn't know just how relevant that trip would be until a few months later, some of my friends on campus alerted me to a hateful BDS movement's attempt to pass an anti-Israel resolution that called for the divestment from companies that do business with Israel. And I actually reached out to one of the senators who was supporting the resolution, and the senator told me, quote unquote, "It's none of my concern." Boy, was that a mistake on his part. That resolution was not pro-Palestinian. That resolution was anti-Israel. And as an alum of the Jewish National Fund's Caravan for Democracy program, it was my duty to stand up and to speak out for Israel. Thank you. And as someone who knew and saw and felt Israel myself, I just had to. And so, after successfully defending my master's thesis, I literally ran 2.5 blocks to the Senate meeting, and out of breath, I stood before the student Senate at GW in a packed room full of my fellow students and gave a passionate speech against the resolution well into the night. I said that I too was concerned with ending suffering, but that resolution wasn't about that. I said it was a double standard, that demeaned Israel on one hand while wholeheartedly ignoring the Palestinians' role on the other hand. I said that it was a hollow, one-sided attempt to bring shame to another. And thankfully, at around 2 a.m., the resolution failed by 1 vote. Friends, Israel is the birthplace of my faith. For me, to experience Israel is to walk where Jesus walked, to breathe the same air as the Apostle Paul. Israel is a country that's steeped in an unequaled significance in history and politics and culture and religion. Yes, I am the first male in my family to attain a college degree. Yes, I am the first person in my family to pursue and attain a graduate degree. And thanks to Jewish National Fund, yes, I'm the first person in my family to go to Israel. And for that, I will be forever grateful to everyone in this room and to all the donors. Thanks to you, I will continue to be a voice. I will continue to fight. And as a future president of the United States, I will continue to stand for Israel. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Nearly 1,000 Jews from North America are planning to make Israel their home this year. They say it's going to be a dream come true. Darlene Rodriguez spoke with one family tonight from a relative's home in Scarsdale.
The Mayer family is about to embark on the most important journey of their lives. A Tuesday afternoon El Al flight will take them to Israel, where they will make a new home and a new life for themselves.
I love America, and it's hard for me to leave America, but I feel that Israel is the homeland of the Jews.
Guy, a doctor, and his wife Vera Mayer were both born and raised in New York, recently living in Queens. They're relocating to a small town outside of Jerusalem with their 4 children, 2-year-old Eliana, 4-year-old Raquel, 6-year-old Ariel, and 8-year-old Yehuda. The organization making the move possible is Nefesh B'Nefesh. With private funds, they're paying for 1,000 people from North America to make the move to Israel this year. But while they say they're going to their homeland, they are leaving loved ones behind. Guy's father, Marvin Mayer, is a Holocaust survivor who spent time in 5 different concentration camps. He says his son is fulfilling the dream he always wanted for his family.
And I'm really very happy for my son that he's going now to Israel.
Does it make you emotional?
To say the least.
I can't see myself growing old anywhere else.
Darlene Rodriguez, News Channel 4.
That was 14 years ago. Feels like yesterday. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Guy Mayer, and I made Aliyah with Nefesh B'Nefesh 15 years ago. 14. My father, Marvin Mayer, my hero, was born in a small town in Romania. He survived stabbing attacks in pogroms and then survived not 1, but 5 concentration camps, including Auschwitz and Buchenwald, where his parents, my grandparents, were murdered. As a result, his faith in God was tested. He emigrated to America, worked as a cabinet maker in the Bronx, where I was born. My mother worked hard at instilling in me a strong Jewish faith, sending me to day school and later Yeshiva University. I went on to medical school and worked in Brooklyn to pay off my student loans. I loved Israel the second I visited for the first time in 1980. I was astonished by the reality of a Jewish state, one with Jewish bus drivers, pretty Jewish policewomen, and Hebrew spoken everywhere, just everywhere. And of course, the outward strength of our Jewish soldiers. I was bitten by the idea of Aliyah, the immigration of Jews to Israel. I knew that I needed to be a part of this modern-day miracle. I soon married Vera, who shared my commitment to Aliyah. And in 2003, we, along with our then 4 children, made Aliyah on the second ever Nefesh B'Nefesh flight to Israel. Founded right here in South Florida 15 years ago, Nefesh B'Nefesh has helped make the Aliyah process easier. It was a magical flight full of joy, singing, incredible excitement, euphoria. Right away, Nefesh B'Nefesh helped me settle into a job as a family doctor, helped us with loan repayments and expediting my medical license. They even checked in frequently to make sure I had found work. We could not have made Aliyah without the help of Nefesh B'Nefesh. Even after moving to Israel, I stayed an idealist, a dreamer, someone who believed deeply in the importance of the Jewish state. And I think that's why I was recruited by the IDF. You see, in Israel, you make a lot more money working as a doctor in the healthcare system than you do as a doctor in the army. So who better for the IDF to recruit to be an army doctor than a starry-eyed American immigrant who would put the importance of the country before the importance of a paycheck? And that's how I was recruited to serve as a doctor for an elite commando unit in the IDF. For 12 years now, thank you. For 12 years now, I've been treating the soldiers who are the most critical to our survival and safety. It makes every day special. Sometimes their missions are so secret, they can't tell me how they got injured or what chemical they were exposed to or what enemy country they might have been working in. I know that their health is our health, as they're on the front lines of defending my home. It's such an honor to serve these soldiers in my country. Thank you. My son Udi served in the paratroopers, only 22, and he's already been in Miluim twice, the reserves. My son Ariel, currently studying aeronautical engineering at the Technion, will eventually design fighter jets or rockets for the Air Force. And my daughter Racheli will soon be teaching Hebrew to immigrant soldiers. She's starting right now. My 4 younger children will grow up to wear the uniform that makes me so proud to be their Abba, their father. Yes, we have 7 children. Oy vey, Tremaine. Oy vey. 3 of those 7 are Sabras, born in Israel since we made Aliyah. Jewish National Fund has changed the world by supporting Aliyah through Nefesh B'Nefesh. They've removed a lot of the mystery and identified what problems people had coming from America and moving to Israel. They're so successful, and by doing so, many more people who wouldn't have ever made Aliyah or would have been delayed are making Aliyah now and earlier, which is very significant because it only takes a couple of years to derail your Aliyah plans. Your kids get a little too old, you accrue debt or become entrenched in work or school. The kind of Aliyah that you support is not Jews around the world in need, forced to flee to Israel, but of Jews from strong socioeconomic backgrounds who come to strengthen Israel. to be a part of the modern building of our homeland. To each and every one of you here and to all Jewish National Fund supporters, thank you for your commitment to Nefesh B'Nefesh, for JNF's commitment to Aliyah, and JNF support for people like me. You have impacted my family and thousands of other families in Israel for generations to come. You're changing the course of history for the Jewish homeland and the Jewish people. Making Aliyah easier changes the situation dramatically. And there's a snowball effect. Sisters bring brothers, parents bring children, and vice versa. We're only seeing the beginning of the impact on Israel, the tip of the iceberg. My father, Marvin, also made Aliyah with Nefesh B'Nefesh a few years after us. He'll turn 92, please God, in February. And we will all celebrate in Israel together at my son's wedding, including his 18 grandchildren and his great-grandchildren, many of whom are flying in. We are all living testimony to his survival, and each of us is doing their part to build this modern miracle we call Israel. Friends, I made Aliyah in 2003, but I still remember that flight like it was yesterday. I was chosen to speak to the crowd after we arrived on behalf of the new immigrants. Even then, I couldn't keep it together either. I was nervous. I was overwhelmed with emotions. But I took out my Teudat Oleh, my immigrant ID, with the symbol of the State of Israel on the front, the stamp of the Jewish people. I still have it. I held it up then, and I said, Toda LaSukhnut HaYehudit. Toda LeNefesh B'Nefesh. Toda LaHashem. Thank you to the Jewish Agency. Thank you to Nefesh B'Nefesh. Thank you to Hashem. And then I said, if I can get through this, 60 years ago, my father was forced to wear a yellow star. Today, I carry the ID of my homeland, the State of Israel. Thank you, Jewish National Fund. Thank you all.
יצאנו לרקוד, לי באוזן את לוחשת צאן.
Hello everyone.
שמחר בכלל לא בא.
My name is Ricky Golan, and I'm a major in the Israeli army. Okay. Zionism ran deep in my blood. My grandparents made Aliyah in the 1920s from Europe. My Abba, Brigadier General Nati Golan, was an army officer. He was awarded a hero citation, the highest honor given by the IDF of bravery through battle, for commanding battles in the Golan Heights during the Six-Day War, the battle that allows us to conquer the Golan. Despite having severely wounded, he also was part of the team developed the Merkava Israeli tank. My father was not just a hero of the State of Israel. He was my Abba. He was my hero. I knew that I would want to join the IDF because I knew nothing else. But as you can tell, I'm not like everybody else, and I'm not like any other IDF soldier. My story begins when my mom went into labor, and instead of having twins, like the doctor told her she would have, she gave birth to my two brothers and me, a triplet. What a surprise. Yeah, it was just like that. But we were born at just 27 weeks. By our second birthday, my two brothers could walk, but I still couldn't walk. My mother thought something was wrong, but doctor after doctor told her not to worry. Yeah, beseder. It would be okay. But it would not be okay. When I was very young, my family and I lived in Fort Hood, Texas, where my father was in mission from the Israeli army. One day, my mom took me to an American doctor there. He told her that I would never walk and she should pick up a nice wheelchair for me. So she told him, I'm going to walk. And he answered, Jewish mothers have unrealistic dreams for their children. So that's the way I haven't met another American doctor again. And we got back to Israel. And in 1992, my mother found a doctor in Israel that diagnosed me with cerebral palsy, but told her he is going to do everything in his power to help me walk. He conducted emergency surgery on me, and after 4 months at the hospital, I started walking. This is a picture of one of my first steps. At the age of 16, my Tzev Rishon came. A letter in the mail from the army invited me to start the recruiting process for the army. I was really excited because I really wanted to be part of the IDF. It was no longer about continuing the service of my father. I wanted to join the IDF because I wanted to live away from my parents. I wanted to be independent. You see, my mom went to every school trip with me. And even though now I can appreciate it, being 16 or 15 and having your mom going everywhere with you is the worst thing in the world, I can tell you. Joining the IDF also means being part of the Israeli society because everyone in Israel serves. It's meant being normal, and there's nothing a high schooler with disability wants more than to be normal. I completed the reading exams, and I was called for a medical committee review. I was really excited. I walked into a room with 2 army doctors, and before I can say anything, they told me, because you have a disability, you don't need to serve. Well, as I told you, I really wanted to serve, so I told them I want to volunteer. And I really was sure they were going to be supportive, maybe even happy to hear it. But no, instead they told me, why do you need the army? Go learn something at university. I didn't see it as something good. I was really offended. I stormed out of the room and cried more tears than I can ever remember. I met my father outside and I gave it to him. I told him, your stupid army doesn't want me. So I cried and cried until he told me, so they told you you shouldn't volunteer, but you want to volunteer. So what are you going to do about it? And then I fought the IDF bureaucracy like it was the enemy of the Jewish people. And I won. They agreed to a short-term 19-month service. I joined the IDF at the age of 18 and served as Special Forces base. The work was really meaningful. I was part of something bigger. I stayed at base rather than going home every night, and I was really independent. One day, as my service was coming to a close, my commander, Eddie, took me aside and told me, you always think 5 steps ahead. You need to be an officer in the IDF. Well, that conversation changed my life. I never thought about it before. It never seemed even possible. But I began the process of enlist the officers course. Again, the bureaucracy tried to stop me. I won't go to all the details, but I can tell you no person with civil policy had done this before, and the army just didn't know what to do with me. So I was very determined, and in the end, I won. And I went into I went into the course and finished it, and I'm very proud to be an officer in the IDF. I will never forget my graduation ceremony. I was so excited. Today, I'm 21 years after enlisting. I have served in a variety of positions. I now hold the rank of a major, and I'm honored to serve my country. While my enlistment was difficult, Israelis with disabilities today are joining the IDF on large numbers, thanks to the Jewish National Fund program, Gdolim B'Madim, special in uniform. This program has paved the way for thousands of Israelis with disabilities to proudly serve, just like everybody else. and have a true sense of belonging. With an intensive support, those youth are first taught basic life skills, like how to pay in the grocery store or how to ride a bus. And then they are given the independence like they've never had before, and move into to positions in the army. Some of them even gets to go to a full position in the Israeli army. Everyone moves their own pace. It is very important to be part of the army. And I want to emphasize this. I want to tell you a story. Some of you know that I'm still looking for a partner for life. I told you. So I want to tell you a story. When you go on a date in Israel, one of the first questions you're going to be asked is, what have you done in the Israeli army? It's so important, not only in the workforce, but only everywhere. You know, I go on a date, what have you done in the army? And everybody that lives in Israel knows that I'm right. It's so important because it's part of your identity. So if you're people with disability and it's not obvious that you can go to the army, it's even more important for you. So it's become a symbol that you succeeded. But let me be clear. As much as person in uniform helps the Israeli army, it helps the people with disability, it helps the Israeli army even more, okay? Because a soldier who didn't want to join the army maybe, sees people with disability and the motivation and changes his perspective. It's a way to make the Israeli society more inclusive. Just imagine the way my soldiers think about people with disability once they leave the army. And it's true for every able person who served alongside a disabled one. Especially in uniform, changes the Israeli society. My father, Brigadier General Nati Golan, passed away 30 years ago from cancer. I know he would be proud of me being a major in the IDF. I know that he would be proud today that the IDF is the only army in the world that recruits people with disabilities. I know that he would be proud of the Jewish National Fund Special in Uniform program. So soldiers like me have the opportunity to change their life and gain the self-confidence for the future. He opened doors for many people, and I know he would be proud that I'm doing the same today. Thank you. Thank you.
Mishpuche! What energy. Russell, how my suit? It's from my bar mitzvah. Last year. I know that everybody talk in English, but I can to talk with paper or teleprompter. I want to tell you and talk to you deep from my heart to your heart. So, Russell, you have translate me? No. Ishai, Jesse.
My pleasure.
שלום לכולם.
Hello, everybody.
אנחנו כל כך שמחים להיות פה היום.
We are so happy to be here today.
אני לא יכול שלא להתייחס למה שקרה פה בשעה האחרונה.
I cannot not relate to what happened here in the last hour.
איזה סיפורים מרגשים.
What an exciting stories.
כל אחד וכל אחת נגעו במשהו בנפש היהודית.
Everyone touched something in the Jewish soul.
וכשאני מסתכל ושומע, אני מתרגש.
And when I look and I hear, I get excited.
ואני מבין עד כמה המסורת, המורשת וההיסטוריה שלנו עמוקים.
And I understand how much our history and our Jewish heritage are deep.
חבריי היקרים, אי אפשר שלא לפתוח.
My dear friend, we cannot not open.
בלי, הנה, מה טוב ומה נעים, שבט אחים גם יחד.
Without the very famous statement, how pleasant brothers and sisters is to sit together.
ביקשו ממני לדבר על העיר באר שבע, על הנגב, על חזון.
They asked me to speak about the city of Beersheba, about the vision, about the Negev.
איך הופכים עיר מדברית לירוקה?
How do we turn a desert city to a green one?
איך הופכים עיר רחוקה למרכז העולם בסייבר, טכנולוגיה וחדשנות?
How do you turn a very far away city to a star in innovation, in cyber and high tech?
הכל טמון בשותפות הגדולה.
The answer is everything is in with the great partnership we have.
באמונה ובאהבה.
In the belief and the love.
תראו, בחיים האלה יש לנו רק אויב אחד.
Look, in this life we have only one enemy.
לא מדינות ולא בני אדם.
Not states and not human beings.
הזמן הוא האויב של כולנו.
The time is our enemy.
הוא רץ מהר מאוד.
It's running very, very fast.
והעולם שלנו משתנה לנגד עינינו בכל רגע.
And our world is changing before our eyes every moment.
אז איך עיר הופכת להיות רלוונטית בעידן כזה?
So how a city become relevant in these days?
זה פשוט.
It's very simple.
אסור לפחד מהחלום.
We shouldn't be afraid of our dream.
צריך לטפח אותו.
We need to nurture our dream.
וצריכים למצוא את המשיגנה.
And we need to find the devoted people.
Devoted the Michigan? JNF זו חממה לחולמים ומשוגעים.
JNF is an incubator for dreamers and devoted people.
הם הופכים את הבלתי אפשרי לאפשרי.
The JNF is turning the impossible to possible thing.
האם אתם מבינים מה החשיבות שלכם לעם ישראל, למדינת ישראל ולנגב?
Do you understand your importance to the state of Israel, to the people of Israel and to the Negev?
תבינו עד כמה המשמעות שלכם גדולה.
Please understand how much significance, a great significance you have.
לחבר בין הלבבות של כל יהודי באשר הוא יהודי.
To connect between all the hearts of the Jewish people.
להאמין שכל עיר יכולה לפרוץ קדימה.
To believe that every city and town can break through.
לחלום חלום גדול.
To dream a big dream.
ואם אני מדבר על חלומות,
and if I'm talking about dreams,
זה להביא אפילו את הים, את הלייק למדבר.
is to bring even the sea, the lake, to the desert.
כן, זה אתם.
Yes, it's you.
ואנחנו עושים את זה ביחד.
And we are doing it together.
כי בעולם של היום אין יותר אני ואני
Because
ואני.
in the world of today there is no more me and me and me.
זה עולם של ביחד.
This is a world of togetherness.
של שותפות גדולה.
partnership,
של
big one,
עבודת צוות.
of a teamwork.
ובעבודת הצוות הזו,
And in this teamwork,
אנחנו שמים את הנגב של בן גוריון על המפה הבינלאומית.
we put the Negev of David Ben-Gurion on the international map.
אם לפני 20 שנה,
If 20 years ago,
מישהו היה אומר לכם,
somebody would tell you
שחברות ענק בתחום הטכנולוגיה מכל העולם,
that giant high-tech companies from all over the world,
EMC, דויטשה טלקום, IBM, לוקהיד מרטין, יגיעו לבאר שבע,
they would come to Beersheba,
בטח הייתם צוחקים עליי.
then I think you would laugh at me if you would have that
היום
then.
יש למעלה מ-100 חברות בינלאומיות בפארק ההייטק בעיר באר שבע.
But today we have more than 100 high-tech companies in the city of Beersheba.
ההשקעה הגדולה ביותר הולכת להיות בתחום הסייבר.
And the biggest accomplishment is going to be in the cyber area.
אתם יודעים, מלחמות בעוד 10, 20 או 30 שנה בטילים, מטוסים וטנקים, זה הולך להיות פסה.
You know, wars with tanks and missiles in 20, 30 years from now are going to be a passé.
היום כל נער בן 17 יכול לפרוץ למחשבים של כל מדינה בעולם.
Today, every young person of 17 can break through to any computer in the world.
ולשתק את תשתית החשמל והמים.
And to disconnect the electricity and water systems.
העוגן המרכזי של הסייבר בחצי הכדור המזרחי של העולם הוא בעיר באר שבע.
The main anchor of the eastern side of the world of cyber is in the city of Beersheba.
זה לא בזכות המבנים.
And it's not thanks to the buildings we have.
זה לא בזכות התקציבים.
It is not thanks to the budgets we have.
זה בזכות האנשים, בני האדם.
It is thanks to the people, to the human being.
בני האדם שהמוח שלהם יצירתי.
People that have a creative mind.
אלה שלא מאמינים ברצף המילים, זה בלתי אפשרי.
Those who don't believe in the words, it is impossible.
ואנחנו לא מאמינים שיש דברים שהם בלתי אפשריים.
And we don't believe there is something impossible.
כל יהודי,
every Jew,
וכל מי שחי במדינת ישראל,
and every person that lives in the state of Israel,
מאמין שגם השמיים הם לא הגבול.
believe that even the sky are not the limit.
אנחנו מבינים שהתפקיד שלנו בעידן של היום,
we believe that our role in these days,
זה לרוץ יותר מהר מהזמן.
is to run quicker than the time.
לעקוף את מחוגי השעון.
To pass the time, the watch.
ליצור עתיד חדש.
To create a new future.
עם הרבה תקווה ואמונה.
With a lot of hope and belief.
לתת לכל ילד וכל ילדה את ההזדמנות לחלום חלום הרבה יותר גדול מהם עצמם.
To give every child, male and female, to dream a dream bigger than herself or himself.
תבינו, זה בידיים שלנו.
Please understand, it is in our hands.
אני מבקש להודות לכם מעומק הלב.
I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
בשם תושבי הנגב ואזרחי מדינת ישראל.
In the names of the Negev residents and the citizens of the state of Israel.
זה לא מובן מאליו.
And we don't take it for granted.
שהלב היהודי החם שלכם.
That your Jewish warm heart.
שנמצא אלפי מיילים ממדינת ישראל.
That is very far, miles away from the state of Israel.
חושב כל הזמן על מדינת ישראל.
Is thinking all the time about the state of Israel.
היסטוריה של למעלה מ-3,000 שנה.
History of more than 30,000 years.
שעוברת מאב לבן.
That pass through from father to son, from mother to daughter.
מאמא לביתה. אתמול, שלשום, בפתיחה של הכנס.
Day before yesterday, the opening of the convention.
הקרנתם כמה סרטים מאוד מרגשים.
You had some beautiful and exciting films that were projected here.
מדינת ישראל מתמודדת.
The state of Israel is coping.
לפעמים גם אנחנו בבאר שבע ובנגב.
Sometimes we too in Beersheba in the Negev.
עם טילים ומלחמות.
With rockets, with wars.
אבל הכוח של הציונות,
but the power of the Zionism,
זה לא להסתכל אחורה.
is not to look at the past,
אלא להביט תמיד קדימה.
but always to look ahead to the future.
להיות מאושרים,
to
אופטימיים.
be happy, optimistic,
לא לחכות שמישהו יעשה עבורנו את השינוי, אלא ליצור אותו
not to
בעצמנו.
wait that somebody will bring the change for us, but to create it ourselves.
וזה מה שקורה בשותפות הגדולה
And that is
שבינינו.
what is happening in our great partnership.
תודה.
Thank you.
God bless you. God bless America and Israel. תודה רבה לכולם.
I did it.
Wow. What an incredible session, right? Amazing to hear from so many wonderful, unique heroes. I could not be prouder to be part of this organization, and I only wish that the entire Jewish community and beyond could hear these stories and feel the inspiration that I felt today. And with the power of social media, maybe that's possible. We all know heroes, people who are shaping Israel and the Jewish world for the better. Let's join Jewish National Fund in celebrating the heroes in our lives. Take out your phones, open up Facebook or Twitter, however you communicate with the world. Think about someone you know, maybe someone whose story inspired you. Let's thank these heroes and use the hashtag JNF Heroes to amplify our message. I'm going to post now on Facebook. Mom, I dedicate my work with Jewish National Fund to you. Thank you for being my hero. Hashtag JNF Heroes. Post. Everyone have their phones out? Put them up. Show me. Join me. Together, let's share with everyone who couldn't be here the simple message that JNF is educating, inspiring, and investing in the heroes and the Jewish people. Thank you very much.